NYC Radio Live.
All right. So you're listening to NYC Radio Live. I'm very happy to be with Shoko Nagai and Satoshi Takeshi from the band TOKALA. Really exciting. Great. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. I was very nervous that you were coming because my girlfriend is Japanese and she's so much cleaner than me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it does. This place doesn't. This is for this place very good.
Looks great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This band, I never heard anything like TOKALA before. Maybe can you tell us a little bit about where the music comes from?
Tokala is the name of the mysterious country in Central Asia, which had a connection to Japan via Silk Road, which was responsible for bringing Middle Eastern culture to ancient Japan. And we have a lot of connection to play Eastern Europe to Middle Eastern music. And as a Japanese, maybe time to create own group.
Yeah.
Because first, me and Satoshi usually playing very serious experimental music. So this project, we just want to have fun.
Nice. Yeah, it is super fun music, and that's fascinating. So we know that there was with the Silk Road, there was a lot of active trade and people also coming back and forth between Japan and the Middle East. Like that was happening.
Yeah, this was it was an amazing connection between the Persian Empire, which is all the way, where Iran, modern day Iran is, to all the way far east to the island of Japan. And at that time, this was, we are talking about, 800, 700. And we took a lot of stuff from China and Korea that time, education, all the new technologies, new knowledge, and then the culture also. And mostly the Chinese empire, they decided what to go to all the way to, east of their, country, which was Japan. Japan took a lot of learning from China and Korean culture at that time. But a lot of stuff that came through China, from Middle East, all the way from Persia to India, including the Buddhism and all this stuff was very, very important and very, very new to the Japanese society. So they took a lot of things, and not many things left. I'm talking about the documentation, and the very few things are left, such as instruments, furnitures, and some written materials. And then the TOKALA, the name was in one of these documents, but nobody knows where this country exactly was. But it was one of the trading country or smaller tribes or whoever they brought, and then somehow left a little stamp in Japanese, documentation. And there's no documentation other than that. And TOKALA is just the way that Japanese people pronounced it. So we don't know what exactly, all the pronunciation was, translated into Japanese language. So it's all mysterious thing. But we know that there was so much exchange, and we were always wondering, like, what happened? What about the music and dance? I'm sure there's musicians, there's dancers who came to all the way to the Far East to show the imperial court, right? The what the culture was. So, and then they each culture, China and Korea and Japan, they decided what to take and learn from it, and then what to just kind of abandon, or cross out, like, oh, we don't need this, So that was kind of really interesting point when we are researching about this connection. Because, like Shoko said, because we play a lot of Middle Eastern or Eastern European music, and so we were always wondering why these melodies are very familiar to us. And like Shoko plays accordion, she's a pianist, but when she plays accordion, it's very natural for her to play these melodies. It comes kind of,
all the audience after the show always asking me, why are you playing Middle Eastern music? And then that's the most reason I start searching why all the people asking me that kind of question. But for us, it's really natural once I hear the music.
So maybe we should listen to something. What should we take a listen to?
Let's start with a song called Rumpy Rumpy.
It's Turkish music.
Yeah, we have a configuration of clarinet and trumpet, and as usual, our trio: Shoko on accordion, me on zabumba, and then the bass player.
All right, let's check it out. right. That was fun.
Yeah.
So this is an original composition, or it's an actual Turkish piece?
Traditional.
Traditional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, so fun. So did you discover certain like makams modes that match Japanese scales or modes?
I don't think we ever really analyzed it.
Okay.
Like, like a theory-wise, what happens. I'm sure there is you can research and study a lot more, but it's more about the feeling. I think when you play folk music, it's really about how the music, the melody touches you in a way, and then how when you play that melody, there's something in you that makes it natural to play that melody. Yeah, I think that's what happens.
About a feeling.
It's very, very deep feeling of the melody.
Right.
I think so. We are really in touch with kind of that fundamental relationship with our emotion and the melody, rather than trying to analyze why. Of course, and we are not historians either, so we don't know exactly what happened. There is no way that we can know, but it's just we are following that traits of the the emotional reaction that we have.
Right. And in Japan, you guys I want to go, but I have yet to. But I've heard that there's a lot of music for different ceremonies at the shrines at different times of the year. Is that what types is that the type of folk music that is related to this, or what types of folk music do you think of in Japan that are related to the Middle Eastern feeling? Or
to me, it's just about the theory. There's a common Japanese scale, folk scale, and Middle Eastern scale. There's some common. So I can use as a technique when I play, but at the same time, like for example, this project I'm first time ever I'm singing.
Great.
And then I realized that we use when I sing that we use the vibrato kind of sentence. We use the vibrato.
Yeah.
Which is really common as a Middle Eastern, that kind of vibrato thing. The folk music, the Japanese folk music, use that.
Right.
So it's all like, as Satoshi told me, that said that feeling, that's the meaning.
Right. Oh, interesting. So who are the musicians that we just heard?
Vasco Dukowski from clarinet, from Macedonia, clarinet player. Also the Kenny Warren on trumpet, and Daniel Ori from Israel, bass player. And they are really good for play jazz, classical, and or world music, which I chose the really open mind and can do experimental technique too. We can go totally break the traditional.
Sure.
So.
Cool. I'm going to back this up a little. Well, and when I saw you guys, you also do sometimes, I saw with trio with your brother, Takeshi. And I actually saw you guys play, many years ago, because I studied with Kenny Wessel was the first guy who taught me to play guitar.
Yeah.
So I saw you guys playing with Badal Roy in the Knitting Factory, I guess in like early 90s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And I remember your brother had some kind of system with rhythms where you tap your foot on one beat and you snap somewhere else. And you do something, and then maybe you say the other things at the other time. I was doing it for a while. It was helpful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you guys came to New York. When did you come to New York?
We both, me and my brother, we both went to Berklee College of Music, 2 years apart. We were never together in the same year.
Mhm.
And he came straight to New York right after Berklee. I think around 84, I believe.
Mhm.
And then it took me 10 years for me to come to New York. I left Berkeley and I went South America. I went to different places. I had a very different desire to learn different styles of music, rather not just jazz music. So we took a little different path. But in 91, I came to New York, and then my brother was already there, and then that's when I started the New York, life. And Shoko is
I came 96 from Boston, and we play together, but I'm a more new generation.
96. Wow. And so many people are amazed by how the level of the Japanese musicians, and just that the understanding of and appreciation of, say, jazz is like better than in the United States. Do you guys have theories of why that's the case?
I think we have a love and hate relationship is, of course, the Japanese, the way that the Japanese people takes different traditions. But one thing I can say is the Japanese culture in general, they appreciate very high quality things, whether it's an object or culture or anything. So when they decided that tango is amazing music, you go and you learn from the master. You don't deviate from what is good, what is, what made this music excellent, the source. You don't put yourself. You just learn from the master. So there is this kind of devotion throughout Japanese culture, which is kind of good, and also could be a complete distraction, because you don't put yourself. You don't put your own understanding of it. Wow. You try to learn from the source, and then there's no question, there's no space for your own thinking to go in. Same to us, the Japanese jazz players. I don't mean to criticize them, but it's the same way. Because jazz is amazing music, great music. So Japanese musicians have a tendency to respect that, and then you want to play like so and so. You want to play like this style. You want to produce the same sound that your hero had. We are a little bit. Our approach to music is a little bit different. We try to really break away from that, and see what happens if we put our own take on whatever the music that we play. Right. So this band is also, of course, we Shoko created this project to have fun, because we like she said, we always play very serious, very complicated, very avant-garde music usually. So this was fun, but yet we wanted to try different take on the traditional melodies and traditional rhythms and traditional songs from different cultures, and see what happens. That's why you see we can play very traditionally, but all of a sudden we can totally go out of that form, and we're just kind of experimenting always with what happens. See if we put something of our own.
Yeah, you can really hear that in this project. It's your own personalities, and that you have room to get as crazy as you want with it. It feels that way, and it brings a lot of that fun element. Should we listen to something else?
Yeah, next song is, you wanna go Hachinohe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The next song is a fisherman song from Aomori, northern city of Japan. They have such a great seafood, and you should visit once in your life. And called Hachinohe Kouta.
All right, let's check it out. So that was so much fun. And that one, I hear like a kind of like there's a little bit of the blues in there. Is that something that you found like is just everywhere?
Yeah, I think that's something fundamental about the nature, to certain type of melody, like when you feel something, the phrasing will be very close. I think it's more in Korean music. There's a lot of similarity to like a blues singing and blues melodies.
Interesting.
And of course some of the Japanese melodies, but more so than other part of Asia also.
Yeah, I there's this album by Randy Weston called Kepra, and he has a picture of what they believe is an African mask from Japan that they found. Do you know anything about this? No? Okay. I keep trying to discover. Apparently in one of the shrines or something they have...
It's in there.
Yeah, like masks from all around the world or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably... there's a one very famous shrine that kept all these goods from all over the world through, when the Silk Road was open, and then Japan was much more open than, Japan closed out from many cultures for many, many years, but that time was much more open. They're eager to take. So there's like a little, memories of these times and then goods, and so it must be one of those things, Yeah.
Nice. So, okay, what was the words about in that song?
It's as I said, for fishermen, every early morning to working hard and need like.
It's like a call and response kind of thing.
To have extra energy to carry the heavy fishes and.
It's a work song basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the word that you say like for energy?
Just like call and
Oh, okay.
Yosho! Ha! That kind of thing. We often use that.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder there's probably something about making that sound the way you have to breathe or something. Yosho! This thing, it goes from your stomach to your head.
Right.
It gives you energy.
There's a rhythm to it too, because it's a work, they're working.
Right.
So there's the natural movements to the, those sounds too.
Wow.
By the way, it's very different from the original song. Is much more monotonous. It's very twos. Only twos. Like in Japan, they don't have a very complicated rhythmic structures in general. So all these folk songs are very, very simple in the rhythmic sense.
Was that part of what brought you to South America and this kind of places to get that polyrhythm?
Yeah, but it was about that. I was just kind of following my own instinct, I would say. I mean, when I went to Berklee, the purpose was to learn jazz. When I just got there, I didn't know how to play swing or anything like that. I was a rock drummer, before.
Okay.
But I thought, I needed to learn jazz, how to play jazz in order to become a serious professional musician, So I did that, but I always saw all these students from South America, and when they played the rhythm, I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. So that's the very, very simple reason like that. I wanted that feel. Yeah. I wanted that groove, and then I really wanted to learn that feel. Like I've heard all these rhythms on the records and tapes before, but when you see somebody actually playing that music, it was just amazing. It was mind opening to me, because it really transmits something that you can't really get it. That was the first time I really felt that. And I should have felt that with jazz music, but jazz came much later in my life. When I was more mature as a musician, I really started to understand. I think I needed to really understand what this music was about before I even try to learn it.
Right.
Then it makes sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, if you learn something technical, it doesn't really means much. It can be interesting, but it doesn't really mean. I mean, at least to me, music is not really about all this knowledge. It's really about how you approach your feeling into that rhythm or the melody or the.
Right. Yeah, and I guess traveling, you'd start to understand the source of this stuff.
Yes.
Because, of course, it's the African rhythms that are preserved so much better
Totally.
in other places.
Totally, yeah. You start to see the roots and the connection. See, this is all about this is all about the connection. Where do we go back?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we do, where do we go back? And how are we connected together? Of course, there's so many styles and so many colors, so many tastes from different cultures. But there must be this thread that connects all of it, And then this is really what's this TOKALA is about,
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, yes, we have fun, but you see, when you really try to analyze that music that we just heard, there's so much in there. I mean, not to brag about it, but you can say, is this Middle Eastern? Is this Indian? Is this Asian? Is this African? Is this, you can start to pull a lot of different elements, within that such a simple song,
Right. And it's kind of has a celebration feeling, which, since we don't know what this, we might as well imagine that was how it was.
Exactly, yeah.
So, Shoko, how did you start with music? Where did that come from in your life?
I started music around age 4, and since then I was actually organ player.
Oh wow!
And full bass, but not the B3 organ. In Japan, there's a called Yamaha Electone, and I grew up that education until 26 years old. Then I doubt this machine, can play any kinds of genre. But I don't know jazz. What's a jazz is what the classical music is, because I never played real instrument.
Wow! Only plastic keys until you were 20.
Yes, and drum machine. And
oh my God!
Yes. So that was a little different than people train classical and train the jazz. And I came later, after 26 years old, I start realize, oh my God, I don't know anything about it, and I went to Berklee.
Okay.
Yes. Then the audition placement test was first time ever I played with other people.
Wow.
But that has a problem because I can play bass line, all the right hand, left hand, everything. Right. But, there's a saxophone player, bass player, and I just do just little comping,
Mm-hmm.
So that was first time my experience.
Wow, that's amazing. It's almost like, the famous story of Plato's cave. It's like, it's the story that Socrates tells of this guy who, if a guy is born in a cave and all he sees are the shadows on the wall, like that's all he knows.
Yes, it's kind of describing image.
Wow, that's amazing. But I guess you learned, you must have gotten very good technically.
But I really glad I found out I need to study.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so then you became, it seems like you got into jazz, but other music too, right? Other.
Yes, Latin music, but I never play Latin music, real Latin music. That's always, also problems. And then I realized, oh my God, I have to study,
Right.
So everything became really new desire. And that at school, I learned jazz and classical music for the fingers. I was playing
Etudes,
piano.
yeah, and stuff.
Yes, but no serious. I didn't like it actually. So.
Cool. Well, what should we listen to now?
The last piece, the Japanese pop song called Omatsuri Mambo from 50s and made famous by very famous singer named Hibari Misora. And the song is about a festival.
Is this the one that you taught the audience some of the words?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
You want to tell the people what they should be singing in their car if they're listening?
It's the same thing like call and response.
Yeah.
You say something and then the audience. It's just to get the energy going.
What was the call and response?
The what? Yeah. What was the word? The first one. She is
Just checking the notes.
Oh, that was the different song. That was the Okinawan song.
Yeah.
No, but they can. You say washoi.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Washoi.
Washoi is a very, very, very typical festival call and response because, in Japan, you just like this Italian festival. You carry the mother.
It's like they call it like a palanquin or something. Like
exactly, you carry the shrine
on your shoulder.
Yeah, and you take out the temple and you go around the town with this heavy. So you need this kind of energetic washoi. Everybody just says this to help these men carry this heavy stuff. So the song is incorporated this kind of Korean response within the song because it's about these festivals of old Japan.
All right, let's take a listen.
「
Takeshi. My name is Shoko Nagai. Thank you so much. Thank you. Be here.
All right, that was so fun. That's so great.
Yeah, that's a fun song.
Yeah. So did we miss anything? Did we cover any important? Well, the dates of the shows, I guess.
Yes, we have a couple of shows in summer. One is this weekend, July 7, at 7 o'clock at the Barbes in Brooklyn Park Slope. And one more August 31st, 8 o'clock at the Barbes again. We pretty much every month playing at the Barbes. And the one is new thing, the 3rd Street Music School Settlement in East Village presented outdoor concert on July 25 from 12:30 for 1 hour afternoon show at the Level Park.
I'll put a link on the
Yes.
on the podcast so they
10th Street and 2nd Street.
Yeah. 2nd Avenue. East Village.
Yeah, 2nd.
That's a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's the best way for people to follow the band or follow you guys?
My website shokonagai.net.
Okay,
I always put the schedule.
great, Shoko Nagai. So thank you, Shoko.
Thank you so much
Satoshi,
for having us.
Takeshi.
Thank you.
This was really great, and I love this project. It's so fun. Hope to hear more of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.